only heard you speak once before at a PTO meeting. I'm busy, I have grocery shopping, I have children coming home. I don't want to hear you campaign, I don't want you to put this in a nice light. I just want to hear numbers. I want to hear what you've cut, why you've cut it. I don't want to hear all this other stuff. I've got stuff to do. Get to the point, please.
All right. Here is what I cut, once again. 970 from the Board of Education, or 870 from the Board of Education. Now, I cannot, by state statutes, tell the Board of Education where to cut their money. Just can't do it. I had a discussion with Kelly Plunkett today, and you just can't do it. The state statute's against it, the whole 9 yards.
Why 870?
Because that is the number I feel will take to pass this vote.
Based on what?
Again, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Mr. Vavrek, with this level of cut, all of the people in this room will want to vote no. All of the people that voted no in the previous referendum, they will vote no because they will feel that this is not enough of a cut. What guarantee do you have to give the people in this room and the people on the other side of this equation that voted no because they felt that budget was too high? What guarantee do we have that this budget will pass the second referendum? Will you put an advisory question on the ballot that states, so you can unequivocally understand why people voted no and why they voted yes? Will you be willing to put an advisory question on the ballot that states, I feel I'm voting no because this budget is too high, or I am voting no because this budget is lower than I can accept?
No, I will not.
Why?
A couple of things. How'd you get the number? We still haven't heard that. And if you didn't know about the economy before, you supported it.
And yes, I did. But again, I was told point blank by the superintendent that with the budget, if I made any cuts, we'd have to close the schools, we'd have to do this, we'd have to do that. Not once was any of that discussed with me. I found out about the closing of Chalk Hill.
But you know that now. You knew that in January.
Supported this budget on April 1st, and we were all well aware of it.
Yes, I did.
Chalk Hill in December.
And yes, I did. But the bottom line is, none of the elected officials wanted to lay more people off. It's a bad economy. We didn't want to put more people into the workforce. But overwhelmingly, the number one no vote in the history of Monroe was cast.
The number one yes vote in the history of a first referendum as well.
Third highest.
Thank you.
The highest no
Highest
vote.
of it.
Of a first referendum, sir? Of a first referendum?
We had rallies.
Steve, you need facts. Okay.
Yeah, you
need
can't
facts.
just say,
Double talk.
The fact of the matter is that 399, end of discussion.
well, you're flexible.
I was.
What will you do if this referendum fails?
What happens if it fails?
What happens if it fails?
Yeah, where are you going to cut them?
Where was everybody the first time? Why did not? Why did
Here.
not?
430 votes is not a mandate.
Question, punishing the kids.
One single question.
The reason.
Please.
All right. We had rallies. We
20?
had all kinds of stuff.
How'd you get the number?
And it wasn't we, it was us.
Steve, can I ask specifically?
Yes.
The number you've given us well exceeds what we're going to make by closing Chalk Hill completely. So, I mean, I know you're not the one that makes the decision, but you have to have some thought when you were making that. What other major cuts do you see that the Board of Ed can do without decimating our schools, which we're already at that
Unfortunately,
point?
right about this point, I say layoffs or consolidation of services.
So, Steve, the answer to a 7.7% unemployment rate is to put more teachers into unemployment who happen to live in this town. And my other question is, how can you compare our budget increase to towns like Wilton and Darien, when their tax base and grand list are so much higher? There are millions of dollars ahead of us already, so that is a
No referendum in those
ridiculous
towns.
comparison.
Well,
That's a
I'm
ridiculous
not saying anything about that.
comparison.
And they didn't lay off 15 teachers last year.
And close a school.
Oh, I think
That's just, I'm sorry, but that's just disingenuous, and we all see that it's disingenuous. That's not a reasonable comparison to make.
the people overwhelmingly voted no.
Not